And then the next one was the CDs. I don't know how it works, I wasn't finance or anything. So I don't know if that's like a board decision to move them,
No, it's the treasurer's.
years and years alone.
The treasurer, not me.
Oh, Jackie moved them,
She and I moved them together.
but doesn't the board have to?
And right now, in 10 months, the ones that we will be making an increase of $2,700 for 10
Well, I'm
months.
all for making more money, but I just didn't know if, in that email you said, Morton said that they would work on
And
it.
actually, we've kept 2 there now because they've raised their rates for us.
But would they have done it before you moved them? I mean, if you asked them and they said.
We did ask them and they said no.
And they said no. Oh, that was good. Well, I just didn't know if it had to be a board decision to take CDs out of one institution and put it in the other without, pardon?
I said, I don't think so.
I didn't know if you had to have minutes or proof of a vote to do it. I didn't know how that worked, because I was never financed.
The CDs. So, being over the finance and having Janet around, I did talk to Janet and I said, when we get the CDs, do we look for better rates? And she told me, yes, we do. So Jackie and I called around to the banks. We called the Albany Bank. The first 5, they would not work with us. They would not raise their rates for us. We're here as a business and we need to make money for our residents. Just like, I know the banks in town, but their rates and whatever, they're making money for their shareholders. And we need to look out for our people. It's just like we don't purchase all of our gas from Shell, even though we have many cars and they're a business in town. So I have this if anybody wants to see. It shows the receipt taken out of the bank, the receipt going into the other bank. If you want to know the percentages, I can run them off for you and show you. 5,000, there's a check was taken out of one of them, was the unemployment, and needed to go back into it because the unemployment was in the hole. I know the monies don't mingle. They have their own departments and their sections, and that's where they go. So if anybody has any questions on it, I've been called Rita Crunwell over this, so if anybody has any questions, please bring it up now. If you don't understand it, come to me, whatever.
So my next concern would be, as a taxpayer resident of Albany, would have to do with the moving of the CDs. Moving it from the bank, so as you may know or don't know, I work at a bank. I found it curious that the board wouldn't have been informed. And I would want to know from each of you how you would feel about that. Had you been informed, would you have agreed to move that from our local bank?
Pam asked me about it, and my answer to her was, I don't know enough about CDs to give my input.
Chuck?
I'd go for the highest rate. You could always move it back.
Gary?
How long are the CDs for?
10 months.
That's pretty quick.
Tim?
I would have to agree, I'd like to know, yeah, how much we earn on it and how long they are.
Jack? Yeah.
She asked you your opinion.
What would your opinion be on moving, had you known in prior, would you have agreed to move the CDs?
I agree with it.
And I think you were notified. I think you were in on the know.
Okay. So my next question would be on that. I know in our institution, when you do that, and you go and you open your new customer, there are things that we would demand. We would demand your tax identification number. We would demand your proof of business or your business resolution or, that of the board. We would want IDs on all authorized users that would be coming, but we would also demand board minutes.
It's not a board. The board does not have to approve of it.
And I'm not saying that, but the bank itself requests that. So did the new bank did not request
They
it?
requested everything else, but they didn't need board minutes.
That's interesting because I actually worked with somebody from Fidelity and talked to them, and that was one of the first things they told me that they would require. I'm not saying that you didn't work with somebody else, but it is something. So I would urge, again, in transparency, you don't want to be called out, that the board itself would look at something like this, that it wouldn't take place again, that you would certainly address the fact that you would want that brought before the board before, it's not a $10,000 CD, we're talking about close to $500,000 if I'm reading correctly. So I would strongly,
88,000.
ask the board to address that and maybe implement procedures so that that wouldn't take place perhaps again. I find it kind of odd
That
that,
says that who could do it and.
and I understand that, and I
Is that
I do
a high amount?
understand that, but we've got a treasurer that was here for a matter of months, and we've got no financials that have been balanced for that matter of months. I find it hard to believe that she was concerned as far as what the rates were.
No, that was me.
Okay?
And she and I discussed it. And I don't understand why anybody is against the village people, the taxpayers making money.
I'm not, I certainly am not. You're saying $2,700, okay, but what are we paying Janet now to try to fix the mess that we are now in again, that we don't have balanced financials?
We're balanced to January.
Hold up.